Hello. I have to find vegetation. I have to be relatively short for my Gab TV audience because it's my preferred platform, and I wish I could record videos longer and that they could be closed captioned. That would be cool. But let's start out with a shout out to them just because of this particular image. I mean, I like that's Knights Templar. I'm going with the heart, and it's about Christ consciousness and true free speech, and we're gonna get there. You know, when you upload a video here, I have the Gab TV account. You don't have to go through a third party to review it. So if you do something stupid, you're gonna be in trouble. And if you don't do anything stupid, you won't be in trouble. So I like it because we understand where we're going in the future in fourth density awareness, and we understand the purpose of our genitalia is to procreate, our divine right to bring more souls into this country. So once upon a time, we were up in Vega, and there was a ring nebula. So the lions and the lionesses went to play. The Dracos and the reptiles were there. Everybody got put into refugee status and hit the elevators, shutting down 12th dimensional awareness. So you might have had 12 eyes with 12 things going on at once. I don't know, but I know that the pyramids are important, and Orion's got a belt, and we went on down. So this happened 445,000 years ago. We took the genetic dumb down, and that was when we were being schooled up as Neanderthals. So a lot of stuff was going on. But we, right now, with only 2% active out of 100% potential, are going to be catching up one of three ways. And what I'm going to do right now, in humility, is let the women take over and speak about what Thoth can't copy. As much as he tries, he can't do it. Secret space program, men from Mars. You're just not getting there. Anunnaki included. Because we're talking about Sirius and Venus. In this case, let's be reminded that Sirius C took off invisibility-wise, whatever is above Gamma. And Nibiru said, I am independent. I'm going. So Nibiru went where it went, and it lapped around our Earth and caused big problems, and it's out there. So imagine one day if you woke up and the entire landscape above your head, from end to end, is like another planet that's like far enough away where you know it's far enough away, but close enough that it's taken up most of the sky, and it's on some kind of an angle, and you still have enough light to see what's going on. Now, where we are right now, we have a sun, a logos with two faces, and I drew some words in there that will make better sense as I proceed, because it's tied to our DNA. Believe it or not, when you stare at the sun and you allow a little bit of water to get in your eyes and you squint and you play around, you will see the code coming at you. And it's the oxyribonucleic acid that is working the game. So in terms of our composition, this is what we're looking at. As we know, biochemically, the components of your DNA. I have some derivatives adenine, then lion. That's a trifecta, triad going on right there. Look at the triangle embedded in that image from Kaya Ra's collection. We have got some things going on with that pendant that I'm not fully prepared to talk about, but suffice to say that the Holy Spirit of Yeshua gave it to the women. And the women are explaining to us what's going on down to the electron level. So look at numbers there. Note hydrogen, nitrogen, and carbon. Think about nitrogen. Just think about what you know already. We're carbon-based, we exchange with the trees, but nitrogen, that's the growth part, and that is one of the trifecta components at a chemical level. So what we have to do, I wrote the formula here. You see it up there. C5H6N2Boo2. That's for thymine. That's where oxygen is added, by the way. So I'm going to stay very general with this and then blow you away with some things. But as you can see, that's a nucleotide. That three-way going on there. And just to walk over, these two kind of make a group that's a five-sided component called imidazole. And it's five-sided because you divide by 5 to get where you're going. Up here, you've got cysteine and guanine. And again, I did some word derivations. So we know guanine just as a female piece, and thy, mine, but you could break that up a lot of different ways. And note that guanine has the same electronic mass going as does adenine, except it's a difference in oxygen. You know, there's no oxygen there at that pre-Big Bang fundamental triad of you. This is, you know, I'm talking about you now, so Hathor is Hathor, but you're you, and you're in a biochemical suit. So the numbers here are total numbers. You can see kind of if you work your way down, I added the extra for oxygen, so these are real totals here. And then I proceeded to draw a cross. So I don't want to get too hung up on that, but this translates to 555 because you divide by 5 to get to the raw number, which is the 7. Down here I'm showing you. This is atomic mass. This is atomic number. And that's how you get to the totals I just showed you above. But this is the atomic mass, which is also known as an atomic weight. And an atomic weight, as it goes, at the progression of elements in that chemistry, those with similar physical and chemical properties occur a notch up. So when you look at all the chemistry, you get to those commonalities of substance. And I'm just going to go and take it a step further. Boy, you hear that little bit of vibrato? So, as you can see, you got a 167 going on just by the atomic number of that HCN. Then, of course, your 8 is your oxygen. So let's do a comparison with densities of awareness. No, my number's over here. Kaya Ra is going to go, what? I wasn't told that. Who was that man that gave me that Indian shirt who loves me so much, because I don't want to fight anymore. Now, look at the first density ascension of Aurora Borealis. Protons, neutrons, and electrons at 1.2. Then you're into elements. Now you're into rock. Well, start with water. Rock is at 6. And that's carbon. Nitrogen is at 7. And that's soil. And 8 is, well, you back up to oxygen again. And the number 8. And you're rising it up. And the rules for density, as Sam the Illusionist will tell you, is when you hit the 8th octave, you notch up a notch. So, by the miracle of our one true Creator, the cyclical life of seeds exist. And from there, you proceed up in the same number of octaves. I'm coming back here to atomic weight and what we're being told about how things go up in second density. It's vegetables, trees, and fruits thereof. Waterborne insects, insects per se, fish, animals, pets, and then another transition occurs to you, your anus. You're back to dirt. Where are you? I guess you're at nitrogen there. But my point is that, don't you know it's fertilizer? And you're working your way up your body this way. So, that's amazing. As our DNA snowflakes out, I guess the best way to put it is I have images I could show you about what it looks like, and I will do that as I can. But I'd like to stick to my paper just to show you the combinations. So you've got the hex and the nitrogen charges, because it's a 1-3, you know, it's still a 3-6-9 world as far as the Powerball. So this one shows the same thing with the 6 and the 5. That's the natural combination of how the snowflakes start hooking up together. And again, I'm staying at a very fundamental water-based level where we're leaving carbon. I mean, I'm not going to talk about all this, but we're leaving carbon, and nitrogen is for growth. So however that byproduct goes. When you get into cystosine, look at the number 21 tied to nitrogen. I'm just letting you know that that's Akashic record country. It's just intuition. Carbon in 24, you're into the division and separation, and probably a lot of other analogies. But think about cystic fibrosis and remember what those children appeared like, and know that repair is going to be there, whatever that happens to be. Guan Yin, and the mirror back to the fundamental. That woman has position on the west of your coaching team from the woman that channeled this book. So, I mean, this is a chemical, and I'm just saying that you can do word derivations, but there's a personality there that has, I mean, it's quantum. So let's get back to our sun. Remember to stare at it and thank it. The way I drew the rays, note that if you stare at the sun, you can see the ripples. But I showed that the feed is coming from Sirius C. So I'm going to cut it off here because I consider this to be a logical break point, and I'm going to leave it with terminology there that I derived from videos and doing some research on YouTube. and other places. Stand by. Okay, given everything I've said thus far, note that 5 plus 3 is 8, and you started off with that 555 at the basic adenine level. And the number 144 is important. Just look at it, you're going to see it everywhere. Here is atomic numbers. And so lastly, here's the DNA Wikipedia thing. I'll link it to this briefing. But I'd like to draw your attention to purines over here. And note the hex and the quad in both cases. And then these are pyrimidines or pyrimidines. See, I don't know, I'm not a scientist. But they introduced phosphorus here, which is an addition that I'm not prepared to speak to. And in closing, I'd just like to remind you now that that's what I was just referring to with a purine. And you could see that in the case that I was pointing to at the very natural level, nitrogen was used as, like, call it the trigger, and the introduction of oxygen. And then you can see the way the snowflake complicates as you connect the purines with the pyrimidines. So I'm going to cut it here, try and screw my head back on straight. I love everybody, and I wish you all peace and enlightenment, because we're going, whoa.